Who is stronger, the evil thoughts sealed for 100,000 years or the Patriarch who has secluded himself for 100,000 years? Qin Xian was invincible 100,000 years ago. Evil thoughts suppress all the monks in the world, but to save Wang Qin, Qin Xian didn't hesitate to seize the source of life. Dragon Vane appeared at the scene at the first moment, questioning Qin Xian's selfish behavior. Qin Xian just looked at Wang Qin affectionately. Don't be afraid. I, Qin Xian, will take responsibility for what I have done. Since I dare to release evil thoughts, I have the confidence to get rid of evil thoughts. Dragon Vane knows very well that evil thoughts is a natural nemesis to cultivators. In its view, this is nothing but a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Then it looks directly at the 7 saints of the spiritual clan. Now only we can fight against evil thoughts, but we have very little strength left. We must be ready to fight to the death. While discussing strategies, a voice came from behind. I just got here, and I heard you guys want to fight me to the death. Just as it turned to check, the 7 saints were unexpectedly ambushed. Evil thoughts returned with dominance, instantly overturning the 7 spirits of the spiritual clan. Dragon Vane also fell from the sky. Can only watch as the 7 saints were seriously injured. Evil thoughts spoke again. My brothers, this strike represents the rage of my being sealed for 100,000 years. Under the influence of evil thoughts, countless energy gathered towards it. The land was full of scars. Evil thoughts dominated the heroes. Have you ever felt my pain? Luo Qinchen and the others looked at the sky in shock. They had never seen such a huge enemy, but Dragon Vane and 7 saints had no strength to fight again. It's really ridiculous. I originally wanted to destroy you before you were unsealed. As a result, you didn't do anything. We were in disorder and let you out. How ironic. But instantly it was utterly shocked. It turned out that evil thoughts couldn't do anything in the first place. It could only wait for others to unseal it. Dragon Vane was utterly puzzled. What do you mean? When you sealed me back then, I had already given up, because your life-sacrificing seal was too strong. I couldn't break it at all. I had already given up struggling then, but as the observer of the earth, I found an interesting variable in these 100,000 years. That is Supreme Heavenly Emperor Qin Xian. As long as it's for the younger generation, he can do anything that seems impossible. So I tried to connect the sealed source of life with the lives of his descendants. In this way, Qin Xian would definitely unseal it at all costs to save his descendants. At this point, Dragon Vane realized that everything was a deception. From the beginning, deceiving him that evil thoughts could break the seal. Later, a deception was set up, taking advantage of Qin Xian's characteristic of being overly protective of his descendants. And indeed, Qin Xian did exactly that. Now, evil thoughts has first severely injured the 7 saints and Dragon Vane. There is no one left in this world to seal it. Evil thoughts is about to realize the ideal it has harbored for 100,000 years. This continent is about to be destroyed. He wants to restart the continent. All the living beings on the continent will die miserably. People were scattering and fleeing in all directions. But where could they possibly escape to? Qin Xian walked towards Luo Qinchen and the others, holding Wang Qin, and said, Wang Qin's poison has been completely cured. Take good care of Wang Qin. But he alone rose into the air, decided to fight evil thoughts to the death. He resolutely rushed towards evil thoughts, slapped him, and it was a direct critical strike. Even the tentacles that were destroying the continent stopped. Chen Daorang stared blankly at the sky. Is this even possible? Dragon Vane couldn't recover for a long time. The formation in the sky that was destroying the continent seemed to have been scattered by Qin Xian's single strike. At this moment, Qin Xian's robe was windless, and he looked angrily. Is this the power of the Supreme Heavenly Emperor? Only then did the evil thoughts in the sky react. It was Qin Xian who attacked me, but the next second, it restored directly. Qin Xian, you have been kind to me. Even if you disrespect me, I don't want to kill you, but giving you some punishment is indeed very interesting. Since you cherish your descendants so much, what will you choose if I attack both you and your descendants at the same time? Will you choose to escape for yourself or bear the blow for your descendants? Upon hearing this, Luo Qinchen and the others also began to speak. Patriarch, you must flee to the next continent. Cultivators can't match the power of Dragon Vane. It doesn't matter if we die. Master, you must leave. You must flee to the next continent. Qin Xian's face was incredibly somber. Damn, another multiple-choice question. When he was gravely ill, the system asked him. On the train tracks, on one side, there was a person about to die. On the other, 5 healthy people. He had to choose which track. Choose wrong, die. Choose right, live. All tested choice-makers had died. Choose carefully. Qin Xian raised his fist, ready to choose to let the 5 people die. With a thud, he directly smashed the train. The system was incredibly surprised. Qin Xian said, Qin Xian, hate dilemmas the most. If you dare make me choose, I only want to deal with the root of the problem, but this must be the wrong choice. Let me die peacefully. but the system's answer surprised him. This was the only correct answer. Returning to the present, the scene was the same. Qinshan was filled with rage. What I, the Supreme Heavenly Emperor, hate the most is being forced to make choices. Whoever dares, I will have the questioner die horribly on the spot. Evil Thoughts, however, was disdainful of this, even mocking. Qinshan, since you want to be arrogant, then die with your descendants. Evil Thoughts then summoned its power. Two massive tentacles lunged towards Qinshan and his descendants separately. Despite this, Luo Qinshan and the others showed no fear, still shouting loudly, "Patriarch, run!" But the next second, they showed astonished expressions. Patriarch, Evil Thoughts, and the tentacle attacks had all vanished. At the same time, on the other side, the tentacle attack thundered down. Evil Thoughts thought it had easily disposed of Qinshan, but a figure suddenly appeared before its eyes. Fool, what are you thinking? Did you think your father would die? Evil Thoughts was still dumbfounded when it was sent flying by a punch. The screams were endless. Before it had a chance to react, it was slapped away. Evil Thoughts lay on the ground, utterly stunned. It looked up at Qinshan. Why hadn't Qinshan died from my attack? Not only did he not die, but he also had the strength to counterattack, and the ground was empty. Shocked, aren't you? Welcome to my domain. It turns out that after successfully detoxifying Wang Qin, the system rewarded a one-time battle domain. Within the domain, everything was exactly the same as in the original world, but there were no living beings. This was a battle domain exclusively for the Supreme Heavenly Emperor. Evil Thoughts' wounds quickly healed again, but it was very puzzled. Isn't a domain something only the Supreme of the Earth should have? Why does he, an Emperor realm, have one? Qinshan looked at it disdainfully. Why can't an Emperor realm have it? Are you realm discriminatory? Previously, during the lottery draw, Qinshan thought he was done for. He had drawn a defensive enhancement within a domain, but he didn't have a domain. Reluctantly, he could only use that power, but doing so might kill everyone. Qinshan had a sudden insight. Wasn't Wang Qin's task reward a domain? So, a complete plan appeared in his mind. As long as he pretended to sacrifice Wang Qin to gain the domain, using the spiritual clan to detoxify Wang Qin for him, after extracting the essence of life, completing the task to obtain the domain, and pairing it with defensive enhancement, Evil Thoughts would no longer be unbeatable. At this moment, Evil Thoughts had guessed. Qinshan must have some kind of treasure that allowed him to use the domain beyond his level. Qinshan stood proudly and said to it, "Unless you kill me now, you will be trapped in my domain forever." The next second, Qinshan was pierced through with one blow. For Evil Thoughts, which was specialized in suppressing cultivators, killing an Emperor realm was a piece of cake. It didn't kill Qinshan before because Evil Thoughts wanted to keep him to lift its seal. But just as it was rejoicing, Qinshan appeared before it once again, indifferently saying, "Oh, is that so?" Evil Thoughts was full of shock, but Qinshan didn't give it a chance to react. Another slap. Evil Thoughts howled in pain. What is going on? He was clearly hit by the Dragon Vein's power, but why can't he be killed? Angry, Evil Thoughts didn't hesitate to spew a breath from its mouth. Die! The scorching energy hit Qinshan directly. This attack depleted more than half of its power. He must be dead now. But Qinshan's nightmarish voice rang out again. "Nope, how could your father die?" Another slap. "How is this possible? How is he not dead yet? And could you hit the other side of my face for a change?" Evil Thoughts had gone completely insane. It gathered all its strength. Countless tentacles fell from the sky, heading straight for Qinshan. Die! Explosions were endless. The entire ground was shrouded in smoke and dust. It panted and said, "He must be dead now, right?" But the next second, it was in despair. Qinshan appeared before it once again. Qinshan used the familiar move, striking the familiar spot, and mocked, "Why does your breath stink more than your feet? Why aren't you dead yet? How can a cultivator withstand the Dragon Vein's power? And why do you always hit the same side of my face?" The real world was in chaos. Everyone was looking at the place where Qinshan and Evil Thoughts disappeared, their hearts filled with worry. Did they both die? The severely injured Dragon Vein sensed carefully, and found the two were fiercely battling, just as everyone thought Qinshan was going to be killed by Evil Thoughts. Dragon Vein's eyes showed disbelief. Not only did Qinshan not die, but he also made Dragon Vein retreat and forced it to go mad. The heads of various sects all showed incredulous expressions. They couldn't believe their ears. Chen Daorang and others excitedly looked at each other. Did Patriarch find a solution? Indeed, the Patriarch is the strongest. Inside the domain world, Qinshan and Evil Thoughts faced each other in midair. Under the invincible defense and torment of the domain, Evil Thoughts had no way to kill Qinshan. It could only choose to threaten Qinshan. Though it admitted that it had no solution for Qinshan, it was also impossible for Qinshan to kill it, and Dragon Vein's lifespan was infinite. It only had to wait for Qinshan's lifespan to run out, then it could successfully escape. Qinshan lowered his head, his face gloomy. With his Emperor Realm cultivation, he indeed could not kill Evil Thoughts. Evil thoughts finally saw Qinshan at a disadvantage. What's the matter? Is the Grand Supreme Heavenly Emperor scared now? Heh, don't worry, let's drag this on. I've been sealed for 100,000 years. I don't mind spending another 100,000 years with you. Qinshan suddenly spoke. Heh, what are you so happy about? Then his body started to change. With my Emperor Realm cultivation, I indeed can't kill you, but you can't really think that's all the cultivation I have. Energy continuously surged from Qinshan. His clothes moved without wind. Endless power shot up into the sky. At this moment, the system prompted, Host, your original power is too strong. Are you sure you want to switch? Qinshan chose without hesitation. Confirm. Evil thoughts looked at Qinshan in shock. It couldn't understand how Qinshan's spiritual energy suddenly skyrocketed. However, Qinshan's power continued to surge. If you were standing in the universe, you would see. From Hongmeng continent, an incredibly massive energy burst forth, penetrating countless star domains without stopping. Evil thoughts only then sensed, this power belonged neither to spiritual energy, nor to Dragon Vein. And why did it feel like this power surpassed everything? At this moment, Qinshan was thrilled and laughed wildly. Finally, I can use my original power to have some fun. It turns out that 200,000 years ago, after Qinshan solved the train problem and traveled to Hongmeng continent, the system asked him what cheat he wanted. Since Qinshan was too weak in the original world, he had only one request, and that was to be invincible. So the system gave Qinshan the power of absolute invincibility. Having just received the power, Qinshan was eager to try it, so he picked up a stone and threw it into the sea, wanting to see how many skips he could make, something he couldn't do before. In his excitement, he accidentally tripped on the stone and threw it out. He looked at the little splash in the sea, speechless. This weak and is called invincible, but the next second he was stunned. The planet's surface caused countless splashes, huge waves reaching the sky. He then realized, if it weren't for the mistake, the planet might have been destroyed. The system looked at Qinshan proudly. This is what being invincible is. Qinshan was furious. I only wanted ordinary invincibility. Casually destroying planets is too scary. The system awkwardly countered. Haven't you seen Dragon Ball? Who wants that kind of planet-destroying invincibility? If you slip up, won't you kill all the people on a planet? Qinshan had the system put away his invincible power, and instead used another set of trashy cheats. This is the Sect system that Qinshan is using now, where he can level up by creating a power. Qinshan was finally satisfied. Hooray, taking it slow is more fun. My dragon arrogant sky life is about to begin. Later, the system suddenly crashed, and he came alone to the 9 great paths in one life realm, living in seclusion here for 100,000 years. Now, he can finally use his power without worry. In this lifeless domain, he roared to the sky. Finally, I can fight without considering the consequences. At this moment, evil thoughts looked like a frightened chick. Facing such might, it completely lost the desire to fight, and was immediately slapped by Qinshan into the universe. To this moment, it still couldn't understand why he could be so strong. Before it could adjust its posture, Qinshan swiftly appeared in front of it. Another slap that made it hurt unbearably, smashing countless meteors before stopping. What kind of power is this? I can't fight back at all. Before it could react, Qinshan killed it again. Don't be afraid. I've only released 1 in 10 billion of my power. I want to play for a while longer. Please don't die and ruin my fun. Qinshan's attacks followed one after another. Evil thoughts could only passively take the beating. It would surely die if this continued. Suddenly, it had a flash of insight. Wait, the power of the Dragon Vein is the power of the Earth, equivalent to the power of the stars. With so many Earth elements around, I can. Evil thoughts used the last bit of strength in its body to desperately absorb the surrounding earth power. Qinshan then noticed something was amiss. He looked at the enormous creature before him in shock. Evil thoughts had almost exhausted all of its life source, forcibly absorbing the power of the stars to merge with itself, becoming the monster before him, and it also obtained cosmic-level power. It looked at Qinshan wildly. Who else? Qinshan was sweating profusely at this moment. The external Dragon Vein carefully sensed evil thoughts' movements, and explained to everyone, it's Qinshan who took evil thoughts to some domain. Unless Qinshan dies, evil thoughts cannot come out. Zhu Wuyan and others excitedly listened to this news. Sure enough, Patriarch has sealed evil thoughts. However, the Dragon Vein's next sentence plunged them into despair. It turned out that it sensed evil thoughts had absorbed the power of the stars, becoming an invincible creature beyond understanding. Qinshan was undoubtedly doomed now, but even with such a sacrifice for the people of the world, what he received in return was their curses. Was it Qinshan who angered evil thoughts? Angering evil thoughts will only bring more violent retaliation. Pleasing evil thoughts might still give us a chance to live. Not only that, they also plan to target Qinshan's descendants, because what Qinshan cares about most is his descendants. As long as they can make Qinshan suffer, perhaps evil thoughts will spare them. Fatty and others, facing many cultivators, could only play defense. Their primary task now is to protect Wang Qin, waiting for Qinshan, the Patriarch, to return safely. Inside the domain, evil thoughts looked at the tiny Qinshan. Thank you for granting me cosmic-level power. Can you defeat me now? A planet-sized energy ball hurtled towards Qinshan, engulfing him directly. A tremendous noise echoed through the universe. Qinshan, you can no longer defeat me. Rather than being tortured by me in the domain, why not let me out? Qinshan merely responded calmly. You've just gotten a little bigger, and you think I can't beat you? But this does remind me of a friend, and he just came to see me. In 200,000 years in this world, I've never seen him in his entirety. Hearing this, evil thoughts burst into laughter. A friend out of nowhere? And he came to see you? Didn't you just say that only the two of us are alive in this domain? Qinshan stood up and replied, yes, he doesn't count as a living being. He's sometimes here and sometimes everywhere. And he's already in front of you. Seeing Qinshan's incredible confidence, evil thoughts was suddenly panicked. He's here? Where is he? At that moment, it felt an incredibly dazzling light in the distance. It looked up and was immediately scared out of its wits. Countless Buddha hands were coming to kill it. A gigantic Buddha, transcending the universe, appeared here. When did this appear? Why do I feel the urge to kneel? Meeting him is your honor. After all, he is the symbol of invincibility, once looking down upon all living beings. Considering the human race as ants, evil thoughts, in front of him, seemed like a pathetic worm, for the first time, needing to look up to someone. Before it could beg for mercy, the Buddha's hand slapped down. It never understood how Qinshan could have such power even until its death. It never knew where it went wrong until its death. But who would understand that? Who can explain that an emperor realm is actually a cosmic invincible powerhouse? Thus, a generation's hero was directly dissipated. If you want to blame something, blame that it forgot the survival rule of this universe, that you can mess with Qinshan, but you can't mess with Qinshan's descendants. And the Supreme Heavenly Emperor never feared anyone from beginning to end. What he feared was only himself. But Qinshan was somewhat frightened at this moment. A slap wiped out a string of galaxies. That's galaxies. When he goes back, he must never use this power again. At this moment, the Luo Qinshan four-person group was going all out to protect Wang Qin and fend off the attacks. Various sect leaders were still shouting non-stop, Qinshan must be dead. Killing them will show loyalty to Lord Evil Thoughts. Are you still resisting? When dealing with enemies, they never fought this hard, but when dealing with their own, they wished to cut them into thousands of pieces. The constant will war attack, Chen Daorang and others were severely drained, and all these were powerful leaders from various regions. Their cultivation was close to the Emperor realm. They were about to collapse. Zhu Wuyan's spiritual pupil inside him was still taking the opportunity to create chaos, wanting to kill Zhu Wuyan. He didn't dare to relax at all. Luo Qinshan immediately shouted, "We must hold on. We must hold on. The Patriarch must also be in a bitter battle. We must hold on until the Patriarch comes back." Then a crisp voice came. No, the Patriarch is not in a bitter battle. It turned out to be Wang Qin's pet, Little Qing. It was standing on Qinshan's finger. Explaining to everyone, the Patriarch easily subdued evil thoughts. But the leaders were not happy. They were instead incredulous. Only the younger generation was overjoyed, all shouting, "Patriarch!" Qinshan immediately responded, "You all have worked hard to protect Wang Qin." The expression of the sect leaders was full of doubt. How is it possible? Did Lord Evil Thoughts really lose to you? Qinshan, are you trying to deceive us before you die? But Qinshan didn't care about this. He decided to unilaterally announce something. I think there are too many leaders in Hongmeng continent now. I've decided to abolish the positions of you leaders, so that you stop fighting each other all the time. They instantly revealed their ugly faces. You want to take away the positions we've worked so hard for millions of years. Seeing Qinshan's determination, they didn't hold back anymore. They charged forward. Qinshan just warmly looked at Little Qing. Little Qing, take care of them. But the next second, the leaders who were attacking were immediately frozen in place. Then they all spat blood and fell. Luo Qinshan looked in shock at the people who fell and couldn't get up. A bird actually has such tremendous power. Qinshan then issued a second command. Little Qing, restore the earth. Little Qing chirped crisply again. The ground suddenly rumbled. The shattered earth was instantly restored. The destroyed environment also returned to its original state. Dragon Vein stared blankly at everything. Did you really kill Evil Thoughts, Qinshan? Is that bird? Little Qing was very satisfied with its performance, chirping non-stop on Qinshan's hand. Qinshan then explained, "You guessed right, it's just a revived lark using the life essence of something." Dragon Vein showed an incredulous expression. 7 spirits of the spiritual clan finally reacted. Did you really take it down? Wang Qin also slowly woke up. Qinshan looked at her affectionately. The power of the Dragon Vein is gone. You don't have to fight anymore. And revived her Little Qing. Wang Qin's childhood was spent living for others. Now she was finally free. She could be like other children. A person and a bird looked at each other, like long-lost friends. For the first time, there was such a happy smile on Wang Qin's face. However, her senior martial brothers and sisters were very jealous. The Patriarch actually made Dragon Vane her personal protective pet. Wang Qin could be said to be invincible in the world now. Chen Xian turned to look at his 4 disciples. Qin Peng, you all listen. From now on, Chen Daorang is the king of the eastern region. Zhu Wuyan, you will be the king of the western region. Luo Qinchen, you will preside over the southern region. Qin Peng, the king of the polar northern region. You must all take good care of your respective regions. You can't let war run rampant again, leading to another evil thoughts appearing. The 4 firmly answered, yes. At this time, Chen Xian received a system prompt. Congratulations on completing the trial. You have earned the qualification to go to the next continent. Would you like to go to the next continent? Chen Xian didn't hesitate to choose yes. After saying goodbye to everyone, he went alone to the next continent. Chen Xian's planet was very large. Each continent was far apart. This time he was going to the Beast continent, millions of miles away. He stood in the air, looking at the splendid and luxurious city area, proudly said, "Is this the place where my new descendants are? Not bad." Finally, it's not a poor place, but he soon became speechless. The system took him to the poorest area of the city. Just as he landed, a rooster flew onto his head. He began to doubt his life. Why are my descendants always reduced to this? However, news from the villagers caught his attention. It is said that there is a beautiful young lady here looking for a son-in-law. They all flocked to try their luck. Chen Xian followed them here, and saw the Wait for Xian restaurant at a glance. Could my descendants be here? At this moment, he heard the woman above say, "Today, whoever it is, no need for a betrothal gift. As long as you are willing to marry into my Gongsun family, I will give myself to you. I will not regret it." This person was the eldest daughter of the Gongsun family, Gongsun Zian. Many men instantly went mad. They had never seen such a good deal. Marrying this young lady might even make them wake up laughing in their dreams. Chen Xian couldn't believe his ears. Could my descendants be so unselective? At this moment, there was a loud bang. It turned out to be a 2-meter tall man who came here, with a lewd smile on his face. "Young lady, for the intelligence of my full family's descendants, I'm here to marry you." After Chen Xian came to the Beast continent, he was initialized by the system, becoming a scumbag named Xian Qing in the Qi realm. In order to protect his descendant Gongsun Zian, he killed the local richest bully Fool's Weapons Fool Sword, who knew that just after he died, his father came to take revenge. Facing Fool Spear of Qi realm 3rd rank, Zian's parents wept in despair. They were certain to die without a whole corpse. Fool Spear went straight for Xian Cheng, preparing to kill him with one blow, but was killed on the spot by a casual slap from Xian Cheng. The onlookers were dumbfounded. A Fool Spear of Qi realm 3rd rank was killed with a single slap. Suddenly, a loud bang was heard. "Who's the trash that dared to kill my grandson?" The person who came was the grandfather of Full Sword, Full Knife, of Qi realm 5th rank. He wished he could cut Xian Qing into thousands of pieces, but who would have expected another slap? The 3 generations of grandfather, father, and son were lying there, killed again. Then the Qi realm 7th rank 3rd uncle made an imposing appearance. "I'll exterminate your 9 clans." Then there was another slap. Indeed, a family should be neat and tidy. The onlookers stared blankly at this family. Is this what's called killing gods when a god blocks, and killing Buddhas when a Buddha blocks? Since when was Qi realm 1st rank this strong? Suddenly, a majestic voice rang out. "Who killed 3 generations of my descendants? Unless you wipe out my full family, the full family will never stop seeking revenge." Everyone stared blankly at the newcomer, the patriarch of the full family, at the peak of Qi realm, Full Wuming. At this moment, a system prompt. If the host, being at Qi realm 1st grade, were to defeat the peak, it would be too much against the character setting, and the mission would fail. Xian Qing had a flash of inspiration, and quickly came up with an idea. Facing the fierce attack from the full family's patriarch, he extended one hand and said, "Wait, you can kill me, but you must explain why you want to kill me." This directly short-circuited Full Wuming's brain. After calming down, he immediately replied, "Because, Xian Qing, you killed my family, so I must kill you." Xian Qing adjusted his wise glasses. "No, the Xian Qing you want to kill is just a name. You or anyone else could be called Xian Qing. Are you sure you still want to kill me?" Full Wuming racked his brains thinking, trying to argue but couldn't say a word, but this cunning move left others dumbfounded. Xian Qing continued, "Look, you don't know this. Please let me explain. Please sit." Full Wuming, immersed in thought, obediently sat down. The others were completely bewildered, and listened as he continued. "Do you know that at the beginning of the universe, all life evolved from the same body? This means that all people were originally one. That is, I am you, understand? So if you want to kill me, it's like you want to kill you, right?" Full Wuming seriously considered this, and it seemed to make sense. Xian Qing struck while the iron was hot. and you full family have sought wisdom all your lives. But when there's no distinction between you and me in the world, doesn't this mean that you full family have actually already found it? Full Wuming was deeply shocked by this theory. He clutched his head in pain, but his intuition told him, I should still kill you. Xianqing clenched his right hand into a fist and pounded it down. Stupid. A headache is a sign of growing a brain. A headache is also proof that your full family has found wisdom. And when you have found wisdom, and when you are me, why not use your wise brain to think about who you should really kill? By this time, Full Wuming was completely lost in thought. When I am me, is it I who wants to kill I? Xianqing solemnly replied. Correct answer. Go ahead. Full Wuming used all his strength to slap his own head, then happily told Xianqing, thank you, it's you who made me realize that the full family had already found wisdom. Then with a thud, he lay next to Full Sword, even having an out-of-body experience to specifically say, my full family won't pursue you anymore. The onlookers didn't know how to describe what had happened. What kind of killing method is this? Xianqing's mouth is too powerful. After dealing with the full family, Xianqing turned to his in-laws. When will you fulfill what you promised earlier? The two cursed loudly. You just married into our family and you dare to be so arrogant? Come in, let us teach you a lesson. Then they closed the door and knelt down with a thud. Big brother, there were many people outside just now. As long as father-in-law and mother-in-law obey, it's fine. Alright, brother, I'm going to prepare the bridal chamber. Gongsun Zian sat there upright. Xianqing, if you want to do anything to me, come on then. But Xianqing, who had lived for hundreds of thousands of years, was unable to take any interest in the younger generation. In his eyes, they were all infants waiting to be fed. He just wanted money. If you want to repay me, why not let the restaurant make more money? Does Xianqing have no feelings for me? Actually, the Gongsun family founded a commercial empire 100,000 years ago, but after little Gongsun's death, the empire endured 100,000 years of wind and frost, and now there's only one restaurant left. Xianqing gently stroked little Gongsun's memorial tablet. I will make your Gongsun family glorious again. The next day, Xianqing just arrived at the restaurant when he heard, your Gongsun family can just wait to go bankrupt. Gongsun Zian explained, it's our restaurant's original chef. We always treated him well, but now he is our competitor. His place is bustling, and the chef's attitude is arrogant. I have taken all your customers. Wait to die. It turns out he controlled the supply chain for the ingredients, leaving Wait for Xian restaurant unable to purchase food supplies, so the restaurant could only close down. Just in time for the food festival. If we don't get recommendation votes, the shop will lose customers and reputation. Ding! A new task is triggered. Help Wait for Xian restaurant survive the food festival. Reward, 3 character design repair sticks. Xianqing silently thought of a strategy to keep the restaurant from closing. It must open today, since we only have rice. Our restaurant will only sell rice. Pedestrians were stunned by this move. Kicking the door open, you dare to open a shop with just rice. This is an insult to the food festival. The in-laws looked at the person. Oh no, it's a food critic. Apparently, food critics have high credibility among diners. If he gives a bad review, the shop surely won't survive. Xianqing offered him a bowl to try. Who hasn't eaten rice before? I would never taste it, even if it killed me. Xianqing directly stuffed the rice into his mouth. You must eat. The food critic's mouth was stuffed full. The in-laws were already scared silly. He's crazy. If he gives a bad review, our restaurant is done for. Zian looked at Xianqing with concern. The food critic had no choice but to swallow the rice. This terrible rice has entered my noble esophagus. But in an instant, tears streamed down his face. So delicious. I've never tasted such delicious rice. And his cultivation level actually broke through. What kind of delicacy is this? Absolutely stunning. It turns out that Xianqing used a prop card, adding a drop of Jade Spring Divine Brew to the rice. The food critic gave all the recommendation votes to Zian, and loudly promoted to the crowd. Everyone, eating rice from Wait for Xian restaurant can lead to a breakthrough. Come and eat. I guarantee it with my reputation. All the diners swarmed in, eating big mouthfuls of rice. Everyone's cultivation level continuously broke through. This wave of recommendation votes was earned in abundance. Zian curiously asked Xianqing. Xianqing gave a mysterious smile, then announced to all the diners, dear guests, we are running out of rice. Those who want to eat must exchange recommendation votes. But the diners almost wanted to cry. No way! What if we already gave our recommendation votes to Tongfuin? Xianqing made a suggestion. If you don't mind the trouble, you can go and get a refund. The diners greedily looked back at the chef, and took back all the recommendation votes they had cast. In this way, Wait for Xian restaurant became the hottest restaurant at the food festival. Ding! Task completed. Currently accumulated task points. 3. Something is wrong. Something must have been added to the rice. Xianqing looked at the person in confusion. An additive that ruined the original flavor of the rice. This is a disrespect to gourmet food. This person is actually the second-class food critic Shirkuan. The restaurant owner must kneel and apologize to me. The in-laws were so shocked by his reputation that they couldn't speak. The higher the food critic's rank, the greater the influence. A second-class food critic can easily decide the life or death of a small shop. The in-laws tremblingly knelt before him. At that moment, Xianqing stood up. Does my food deserve his judgment? Shirkuan sneered. Who do you think you are? Xianqing slapped him across the face, sending the food critic flying 10 meters away. Ziyan was immediately shocked. The food critic's eyes widened. Scoundrel, you, a lowly person, dare to hit me. You, a violent maniac, say I can't judge your dish? Do you understand gourmet food better than I do? Do you dare to compete with me? If your cooking is worse than mine, I'll have you closed down today. Ding! New task initiated. Save the restaurant. Win good reviews. Break the food critic's mentality. Reward. Character design repair stick. The in-laws reminded from the side. Xianqing, no matter how delicious your cooking is, if he deliberately says it's bad, then we're completely finished. An hour later, both sides prepared their dishes. The food critic made Buddha's temptation. Everyone praised it. Xianqing made 9 turns large intestine, but the intense stench kept everyone from coming closer. Xianqing spoke. Esteemed food critic, stinky tofu may smell bad but tastes good. How can you say it's unpalatable just by smelling it? The food critic had no choice but to taste it, despite his disgust. As the large intestine entered his mouth, he trembled with rage. Xianqing, did you even wash this large intestine? Xianqing calmly explained. Since you said you like the original flavor of the ingredients, I made sure to keep it authentic, so I didn't wash it at all. The onlookers were stunned. This is making the gourmet eat feces in public. Ziyan looked worried. Xianqing, you did this on purpose. The food critic will definitely give a bad review. Who will dare to come to Wait for Xian restaurant if you serve unwashed large intestines? But then, the food critic suddenly spoke. Actually, the large intestine is very clean, and it's delicious. He even wanted to eat it all by himself. So it was washed clean, so delicious that the food critic wants to enjoy it alone. Xianqing chuckled inwardly. At least he's clever enough not to reveal that he ate excrement by eating all the evidence himself. Otherwise, letting the crowd taste the remaining large intestines would only cement his reputation for eating excrement and ruin his name. Task perfectly completed. Obtained 3 character design repair lamps. Character design repair lamp can modify others' memories. After eating the large intestine, the food critic pointed at Xianqing and scolded. Although you did a good job, I still hate your attitude towards food. You must be punished. Suddenly, countless loyal followers sprang out from the side. Ziyan looked worriedly at Xianqing. The food critic may not be strong in battle, but he trains followers to do his bidding. Chop him up and serve him with my wine. Facing opponents from the concentration realm, Gongsun Ziyan wanted to run away with Xianqing, but Xianqing embraced her. Indeed, it's not easy to deal with using only Qi realm power, so why not be more unrestrained? He raised Ziyan's hand, and suddenly a pair of giant hands formed from the power of the rules appeared in the sky. Shirkuan stared at the sky in shock. Xianqing waved his hand, and suddenly a gust of wind swept everyone away. Just as the chef thought that having the restaurant was enough, the entire restaurant was uprooted. He fell into a stupor. Ziyan hugged Xianqing in surprise. Is this your power? Warning! Host's character design is collapsing. Mission is about to fail. But Xianqing wasn't worried at all, because he had previously obtained the character design repair stick. He took out the pink stick with a snap. Everyone forgot everything they had just seen. All believed that he made food that even the heavens would love. And Shirkuan was greedy and wanted to take it all. Thus he was punished by heavenly wrath. When the people came to their senses, they all condemned Shirkuan for being selfish and greedy. Wife, the popularity of the restaurant is rising. The next day, a noise woke Xianqing up. He came out to see. It was Ziyan playing the zither. Wife, what are you doing here instead of settling accounts? It turned out that the largest Ho family in the lower city was collecting music for Lord Ho's birthday. She wanted to participate and compete for a spot. Xianqing suddenly felt a headache. Why is the music of this world so unpleasant? He was forced to take Ziyan's place. Wife, let me help you compose the music. Ziyan thought he was joking, but the next second she was shocked. She had never heard such moving music before. Not only was the singing crisp and beautiful, but there was also something awe-inspiring about it. and the lyrics and artistic conception were both beautiful. She never thought that Xiancheng was such a talented person, and the lyrics seemed to transport her into them. She too had once wanted to see this vast world, wanted to meet the Patriarch, but she didn't know if the Patriarch still existed. Perhaps this was just an unattainable dream of hers. When the music stopped, Xiancheng was still worried whether modern music would conform to the ancient people's aesthetics. But both Ziyan and her parents-in-law were moved beyond words. Xiancheng was quite surprised. At this moment, Ziyan was very confident. If this song could be submitted, it would surely win. And this also made Xiancheng's figure infinitely magnify in her heart. Besides music, Lord Ho also liked taming beasts. There would be a big taming competition every time. So next, they had to go to the beast taming street to pick their own tamed beast. But as soon as they entered a shop to inquire, they were driven away by the shopkeeper. Get out, you lower class people from the lower city. Get out now. A yellow-haired youth saw that Xiancheng didn't leave. Not only did he order them to leave, but he also wanted to set his dog on them. But he was slapped into the wall by Xiancheng. How do you talk? Didn't your parents teach you how to treat guests? Ziyan wanted to pull him away to avoid trouble, but suddenly a man jumped out. Who are you, daring to lay hands on my son? The yellow-haired youth, tears in his eyes, pointed at Xiancheng. Dad, it's this bastard. Make him kneel down for me. Following that, he clenched his fists and tried to sneak attack Xiancheng, but his dad knocked him down with one punch. You scoundrel, how dare you speak to Xiancheng like that? It turned out that this person was Shikuan, who had dueled with Xiancheng before. Seeing Xiancheng again, he was terrified. Seeing his good-for-nothing son, he was nearly having a heart attack. The yellow-haired youth looked innocently at his father. Dad, you hit the wrong person, didn't you? Shikuan said nothing and lifted him up. You dare to rant in front of Mr. Xiancheng. You rebellious son. Not only will I hit you, I also want you to apologize to them. The yellow-haired youth was utterly aggrieved. He never thought he would have to kneel to a lower-class person. Shikuan, however, revealed a sinister expression when he bowed his head, but in an instant, he switched to a standard smile. Xiancheng, pick any tamed beast you like. I'll give it to you directly. With Shikuan's accompaniment, they quickly picked a tamed beast. Shikuan thought sinisterly on the side. Xiancheng, let me see you act smug for now. Wait until the taming competition starts. I'll make your whole family lose face. On the day of the taming competition, Lord Ho sat high in the stands. All the beast tamers were ready. Everyone else was a full team. Only Ziyan was alone. Shikuan on the side stared menacingly at Ziyan. The competition began. Everyone charged forward, wanting to take first place. The gap between Ziyan's tamed beast and theirs was obvious, so she had to temporarily avoid the melee. But Shikuan, without any sense of decency, directly surrounded her. Haha, where are you going? Ziyan was irritated. You came specifically to find me for revenge, didn't you? Fortunately, she had chosen the swift step bird, suitable for escaping, but Shikuan didn't panic at all. He took out a flute and started playing. Unexpectedly, the swift step bird suddenly stopped. It turned out that Shikuan had tampered with it beforehand. The swift step bird he sold to Xiancheng had been specially trained, just for today's revenge. She can't run now. Beat her to a pulp for me. 3 hungry wolves charged forward. Suddenly, a bright light flashed by. Xiancheng stepped up at the critical moment. Shikuan, you've grown bold. With a wave of his hand, he sent them all flying. But this was not in accordance with the rules. New mission. Win first place in the taming competition, and put on a performance that convinces everyone in the audience. Xiancheng picked up the flute from the ground. Lord Ho, Shikuan used a bone flute to cheat. Can I take the field for my wife? Lord Ho angrily agreed. Shikuan dared to cheat at the banquet. Drag him away. Xiancheng first helped Ziyan to her feet. She looked at Xiancheng, full of concern. Xiancheng simply said, "Don't worry, I'll make the Gongsun family shine again." Boom! A giant ape descended from the sky. It was the third ancestor of the Fool family. At the peak of the Qi realm, although the family forbids fighting, it doesn't count as a violation in the arena. Shikuan, who was dragged away, watched all this with a sinister look. So this was a secret plan. But the swift step bird was still in a coma. Xiancheng is surely doomed now. The three of them rode the giant ape, attacking Xiancheng. After a huge noise, a giant handprint was left on the field. Xiancheng calmly stood aside. Are you ready to admit defeat now? The dust cleared. The three ancestors lay neatly there. Everyone was dumbfounded, never expecting that even without a tamed beast, Xiancheng could easily handle them. But they didn't know Xiancheng's true strength. He directly said to everyone, "Too boring. All of you come at me at once." Looking for death, faced with such a request, they, of course, wouldn't refuse. Think you can rule the world just by taking down some lackeys? Everyone rushed forward, directly forming a beast tide. Xianqing snorted coldly. Think having more dogs is useful? Smash! A loud noise came. Countless black thunder bull pythons appeared behind Xianqing. Everyone was shocked, looking at this group of demons, yet the black thunder bull pythons directly knelt before Xianqing. Patriarch, summon Little Black. What's the matter? Too boring. I want to trigger an earthquake. The black thunder bull pythons seemed invigorated, their eyes shining. Our clan finally has the opportunity to make a contribution before the Patriarch. Trample them all. Ordinary beasts are like chicks before the demons. With continuous trampling, screams filled the air. Zian was stunned. Host summoned demons. Identity exposed. Character collapse. Mission about to fail. Xianqing had to call them back first, then used the character design repair stick. A flash of golden light. Everyone remembered Xianqing's verbal battle. He scolded the beast tamers senseless, causing them to fight each other to the death. When everyone came to their senses, Xianqing's mouth was too cheap. He actually made the beast tamers commit suicide. Fortunately, this fits Xianqing's sharp-tongued character. Suddenly the ground rumbled. Humph, a low-class person managed to get to second place with foul language? With you here, it's simply a disgrace to the beast taming competition. At that moment, a giant earthworm appeared. Xianqing looked at the giant beast king. Not only was he not panicked, he had a mocking expression, but Zian on the side was already scared. This is the Beast King that has won championships throughout history. As the Beast King attacked, Xianqing pinched his fingers together, muttered a spell. Evolve! Swift step bird. Then a golden light flashed. A giant beast claw appeared before everyone. It was thousands of meters high. It was the evolved form of the swift step bird. Purple mysterious dark sparrow. Even a Beast King hundreds of meters high was like a tiny insect in front of it. With a screech, the Beast King was frightened and broke into a sweat. Even its master ran away in a panic. Purple mysterious dark sparrow picked up the Beast King, casually tossed it up, and swallowed it in one gulp. The whole arena went quiet in an instant. Shirkuan incredulously watched the scene. Then Xianqing casually waved. Purple mysterious dark sparrow turned back into the swift step bird. Zian looked at it suspiciously. Can swift step bird really evolve into purple mysterious dark sparrow? Did we buy a top-grade swift step bird? Shirkuan suddenly stood up. Xianqing, give back the swift step bird. It was sold mistakenly from my store. What you bought is my shop's treasure. Shirkuan looked at Xianqing, ignoring the contemptuous glances around. But Xianqing laughed and said to Lord Ho, Lord Ho, today is your birthday. Our Gongsun family did not prepare a gift. This swift step bird is presented as a birthday gift. Shirkuan on the side was already spitting blood in anger. He really did not expect Xianqing to do this. Lord Ho burst into hearty laughter. Good. Your Gongsun family has good intentions. From now on, the Gongsun family will be the best friend of the Ho family. The onlookers shed tears of envy. Shirkuan was so angry he was about to go mad. Damn, is Xianqing destroying it because he can't have it? After giving it to Lord Ho, I dare not ask for it back. At this moment, countless cheers erupted. Xianqing, Xianqing. In reality, Swift Step Bird couldn't evolve. He merely switched Swift Step Bird with Little Purple when no one was watching. By giving the Swift Step Bird, he won the favor of the Ho family, which was a great help to the Gongsun family. And even if someone found something wrong with the Swift Step Bird, they would only go after the original owner, Shirkuan. So Xianqing quickly said, Lord Ho, so, our Gongsun family is the first in the beast taming competition, right? Yes, a splendid competition. Your Gongsun family is indeed the true first place. Zian, looking at the brilliantly shining Xianqing, was already moved beyond words. Ding! The host made the Gongsun family shine again, rewarding 5 task points, and upgraded the character. Xianqing happily looked at the information. Oh, the cultivation has been modified? The sensitivity of the people around has been reduced, so I can be more reckless in the future. Then Lord Ho announced, the competition is over, and now is the time for the much-anticipated offering of music. Everyone was filled with emotion. The chosen performer for this time is quite a surprise. Shirkuan also made full preparations for this music offering competition. He invited the champion of the last music offering to compose. So now, please welcome the selected genius composer. Shirkuan bowed to everyone and said, Ha, I have made a fool of myself. I am going to the stage to accept the award. But unexpectedly, the next moment, Lord Ho directly announced that Gongsun family Xianqing won the music offering championship. Shirkuan was utterly shocked. Lord Ho, Xianqing is nothing but a scoundrel and a bully. How could he possibly compose music? You're not protecting him because of the Swift Step Bird, are you? The crowd also cried out for justice. Exactly. A return gift doesn't need to be this obvious. Dark secrets. Lord Ho was speechless. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not choose Xianqing because of the Swift Step Bird. Then he let Xianqing start playing. The wonderful music surprised everyone. What do you all think? Xianqing looked at the audience, but there was silence, and no one applauded. Zian was very worried, thinking that everyone didn't like it. Suddenly, someone nearby asked, "Is the song over?" Listening to it, it felt like missing out on a 10,000-year tragic romance. It left me full of regret. Just when Zian was confused, another person nearby said, "And I heard in the song the regret of unfulfilled dreams." Coming from a lower class, how can I not want to become a great composer? This song is too beautiful. At this moment, we feel like we're going to explode. There was a thunderous applause in an instant. Xianqing was not surprised by this result at all. Thank you all for coming. If you like it, I will continue to play and sing for you later at Wait for Xian restaurant. The twin sisters were so excited they cried. We will go to eat there every day. Seeing this, Zian finally breathed a sigh of relief, but Shirkun was still not giving up. Xianqing, although the song is excellent, it can't possibly be a piece that you composed, right? Lord Ho, I suspect that this song was stolen by Xianqing. You said that those who steal others' music will be expelled from Tianshui City. Everyone was shocked, and couldn't help but doubt. Faced with no choice, Lord Ho had to speak. Xianqing, rules cannot be broken. If this is not your composition, explain it to me now, so I can explain to everyone. Xianqing seemed indifferent, hands in pockets, confidently saying, "I can compose another piece on the spot." The hateful Shirkun pointed at Xianqing and yelled, "But if it doesn't reach the level of the previous piece, then you are a fraud. From today on, you will have to leave Tianshui City." Xianqing started playing the harp with both hands. "Then I will compose a new piece dedicated to my lady. The sky is blue, waiting for the rain and mist, and I am waiting for you." The smoke rises across the river, 1,000 miles away. The moonlight was dredged up, blurring the end, like the self-admiring beauty of a blue and white porcelain piece, with a smile in your eyes. The song ended, and everyone stopped. Shirkun was completely convinced. "Xianqing, I was wrong. I am wholeheartedly convinced by you. Go away." Zian, who was beside him, was already looking at Xianqing with admiration. "Xianqing, I will never forget this song in my life." Then Lord Ho extended an invitation to Xianqing. 3 days later, "I will attend a grand banquet at the Wan family's city defense envoy. Could you please come and perform a song?" Xianqing immediately bowed. "I would be delighted, Lord Ho." Everyone was filled with envy. The middle city area is full of nobles. Is the Gongsun family going to transcend their class? The system immediately sent a prompt. Due to the host's perfect handling of Lord Ho's birthday, the Gongsun family's reputation has been elevated, rewarding 5 task points. Also, the host can use an unlimited amount of non-spiritual tools. The scene shifts to the middle city area, the Wan family's residence. Xianqing and Zian arrived at the Wan family, but the snobbish steward of the Wan mansion, upon seeing that they were from the lower city area, uttered foul words, and asked if they had come for swill. Even brought a bucket of swill and said, "If you can eat this bucket of swill, I'll let you in." Looking at the overbearing steward of the Wan mansion, Zian wanted to avoid trouble, and tried to pull Xianqing away, but Xianqing wouldn't tolerate them. He lifted the steward with one hand. "You dog servant, don't impose your dog-like preferences on us." The remaining 2 people, seeing Xianqing dare to take action, were yelling to step forward. When Lord Ho came out at that moment, "What's going on here?" The steward saw Lord Ho and excitedly blurted out, "Lord Ho, there are 2 lower city people causing trouble here. You go inside. Don't let these lowly lower city people offend your eyes." But suddenly a slap came across. "Shut your dog's mouth." At this moment, he was completely dumbfounded, and Lord Ho's words left him momentarily stunned. "Lowly lower city people? Don't I live in the lower city area too? Are you cursing me? Get out of here." Then he looked at Xianqing and the other. "Ha, little friend Xianqing, you finally arrived. I've been waiting for you." Then he went in with Xianqing, but the steward behind them was already harboring resentment. During the banquet, young Master Wan's performance ended, and the whole room erupted in thunderous applause. Many envious eyes were cast. The Wan family's second son then said, "I heard that Lord Ho brought a piano master today. Could he come and have a friendly competition with me?" "Alright, since young Master Wan has requested. Little friend Xianqing, show us what you can do, but try not to overshadow others." Young Master Wan looked at Xianqing mockingly, wanting him to make a fool of himself. "What is this song? It's much better than young Master Wan's. In this composition, young Master Wan is simply no match." At this moment, young Master Wan's face turned as black as an eggplant. "This lowly lower city person dares to upstage me in public." The steward complained to young Master Wan, but as soon as he came close, young Master Wan was disgusted by the foul smell on the steward. Then he cried out, "Young master, this is what Xiancheng did to me. I am your man. Xiancheng is disregarding you." Although young Master Wan was disgusted, he was even more furious. Not only did Xiancheng overshadow him at the banquet, but he also hurt his man. How could he swallow this bitterness? Then he came to Xiancheng. "Indeed excellent piano skills. I wonder if you could privately discuss and learn from me." Xiancheng replied, "I'm not worthy of being taught, but I'm open to communication." Young Master Wan then said, "All right, steward, take Mr. Xiancheng to the piano room first. I will come after I've entertained the guests." The steward led Xiancheng deep into the courtyard. Coming to a room, he let Xiancheng enter and wait. Upon opening the door, Xiancheng felt something was wrong. There was no piano to be seen in the piano room, only terrifying skulls scattered about. Suddenly, the door closed. "Ha! Xiancheng, you dare to cross me. Wait for your death." Then a voice came from within the room. "Oh, a concentration realm first rank. Ha! Just a worthless concentration realm first rank." Xiancheng, on alert, looked at the speaker and asked, "Who are you?" "I am Wanqi's master. I'm going to turn you into my perfect collection. After all, I'm much stronger than you." A little while later, Wanqi was already impatient to see Xiancheng's misfortune. After all, his master was a concentration realm third rank, so he came here and asked, "Master, how is Xiancheng's transformation coming along? I want to personally put him into the wall." Then he saw an utterly horrifying sight. His master was embedded entirely into the wall. Wanqi rushed forward. "Master, what happened to you?" But what greeted him was a slap. "Fool, you have no idea whom you have offended. If you don't get his forgiveness, don't ever call yourself my disciple again." On the other side, Xiancheng had already returned to the banquet. "Zian, I'm back. Where is Lord Ho?" Zian replied, "Lord Ho has gone to attend a council meeting." At that moment, young Master Wan was marching angrily towards them. The crowd looked on in shock. Zian also looked at Xiancheng with a worried face. The steward, gleeful, looked on, wanting to come forward to watch, but he was suddenly pinned to the ground by a hand. Young Master Wan, leading a large group of people, came to Xiancheng and all knelt down. They even grabbed the steward, begging for forgiveness. This scene deeply shocked all the guests. The steward's tears of humiliation flowed, while Xiancheng just leisurely sipped his tea, considering young Master Wan's sincerity. "I'll forgive you." Young Master Wan was sweating profusely. "Okay, all right, thank you, Master Xiancheng." Zian on the side looked at Xiancheng with confusion. Xiancheng had no choice but to explain. "It's nothing, young Master Wan is just being polite." Wanqi immediately nodded and bowed, saying, "By the way, Master Xiancheng, Lord Ho invites you to discuss matters in the inner courtyard." Upon arriving at the council hall, the old master of the Wan family, Wan Xiang, was explaining the purpose of this banquet. Since the beast tide in the west of the city is becoming more dangerous, he wanted to ask everyone for advice. "Lord Wan, are the weapons we provided not sufficient?" Wan Xiang helplessly said, "No, even though the equipment you all provided is good, its destructive power is still not enough for the beast tide." At this moment, Xiancheng suddenly stood up. "Lord Wan, if you need weapons, my Gongsun family can manufacture them and surely help you deal with the beast tide." A person to the right of Wan Xiang immediately stood up. "Who's this young upstart? I've never heard of a weapons merchant called the Gongsun family." This person was indeed the largest weapons manufacturer in the central city. However, Xiancheng's next words made everyone laugh. "Indeed, we don't have a name, because our Gongsun family hasn't even opened a factory yet." People laughed loudly. "Haha, are you here to amuse me? You do know that everyone here is a weapons tycoon." Lord Ho awkwardly reminded, "Xiancheng, I brought you here to meet the influential people. Don't boast." Xiancheng confidently said, "No harm, Lord Ho. I happen to have brought a sample weapon." Saying this, Xiancheng took out a peculiarly shaped weapon from his chest. Everyone looked speechlessly at this little thing. "Haha, what's this little piece of iron? Is it for cracking walnuts? Haha, it would be hard to kill even a mouse with this thing, right?" Lord Ho even lowered his head in frustration, but Xiancheng was brimming with confidence, suggesting they all compare whose weapon was more powerful. Seeing the young man so unruly, the wealthy weapons merchant from before immediately jumped out. "I'll let you taste the dangers of the world right now." So they brought their respective weapons to the arena. The merchant took out a poison-infused treasure blade. It looked extraordinary. He specifically introduced, "This blade is coated with deadly poison for the beast tide. Even if a concentration realm touches it, they will die instantly. Don't blame me if you die later." Xiancheng calmly loaded his revolver. "A competition of life or death without responsibility, right? I like it." Zian on the side was speechless. Is Xiancheng going to compete with someone again? The merchant's warrior glared menacingly at Xian Cheng. Even though we're at the same level, Xian Cheng, I've used this blade for 10 years. I advise you write your will to your wife right now. He immediately used his high-speed blade technique. The blade shadow instantly blocked all Xian Cheng's retreat paths. Lord Ho on the side had already covered his eyes in fear, but in an instant, they all witnessed an unforgettable scene. Bang! Xian Cheng pulled the trigger. The opponent was sent flying along with his blade.